Oh, I didn't see you come in. Hello everyone, my name is Bradley Davis and welcome to the cave of forgotten TV shows. And now it is time to roll the title card! Hello, I am Bradley Davis and I'm here to tell you about a very old series that should be remembered for its interesting characteristics and interesting style. What style am I telling you? Simple enough. It is Mary, Mungo and Midge. But first, Captain Pugwash. And who is Captain Pugwash? Well, I'll tell you. With this simple transition. I said simple transition. Just one of these. Could be it somewhere. Aha! Here it is! Captain Pugwash and Mary, Mungo and Midge were both made out of paper. Yes, paper and card. We live in a crazy year where 3D animation seems to be the big king of making people money. We should look to the eyes of the past and realize that these people who made these movies weren't doing it for the money, they were doing it for creativity and fun. Let's start with Captain Pugwash. Well, obviously he's the captain, but he's a bit different to characters you normally see today. In this day and age, cartoons always have one stereotype and that's it. They're the guy who's smart, he's the guy who's pretty, who's the guy who's cute, blah blah blah. But Captain Pugwash was the one cartoon, probably in a line of other cartoon characters before, who actually had more diverse things. He was bold, he was a bit naive, a bit stupid, maybe some other words that describe not thinking before he does his actions, and probably wonder how on earth he even got into being a pirate, even though he has the fear of every single thing known to man, including his own arch enemy. The captain actually had an enemy in the story, even though he was a nice guy. I mean, there was even one episode where he was actually friends with all the people in the village, sort of. I guess they didn't really think he was a threat. But Cutthroat Jake and his crew was a threat. Trust me, if you see him in a bar in the middle of the night where the lights are off, you would probably be terrified of him, because he was a serious pirate. There's one episode where he actually sends a cake that's actually a bomb. But I must digress, you should watch the series for yourself. Trust me, it's a great show. And if you're wondering, no, Cutthroat Jake or whatever his name is never kills off the captain. Besides, the captain has a second series in the future, but that's probably some other story in the future. Also, the crew of the captain's ship was pretty good. There was this guy with the mustache, who was actually a bit of a mumbler. Then there was this other guy who had a deep voice, and I think in one episode he used a pistol or something, in one cool episode. And then there was this guy who probably looked like he didn't even belong on the ship, but he was pretty cool. And finally, then there was the cabin boy, Tom. He was basically like that character you know from Inspector Gadget, who was the niece or something. Basically, he was the only one on the ship that was a little bit smarter than the others, and he helped them on their missions. And he never got a payment, but the idea was that doing a good deed was more important than being praised for doing it. In honest greatness to say, Captain Pugwash was actually a book and then a comic series, apparently. And also, did you know that this isn't actually his first ever appearance on live TV? We should go further back in time to when it was in black and white TV. Now we can talk about Mary, Mungo and Midge. If you're going to get confused, they actually say in the title beginning which character is which. And I can actually remember now. Mary was the girl, Mungo was the dog, and Midge was the mouse. Basically, when they were around, they tried to explain about stuff in the modern day. Wait, before you ask me why you don't see the cartoon anymore, what I mean is it was during the days of old modern day, not today. Basically, it was during around probably when the brick phone was around probably. Or probably where one of these things were around. You know what this is, kids? It's a telephone box. It's like a telephone that you have now, but one difference is you have to literally walk in and you can't take it with you after you've told somebody. For its time, it was a show that was basically that told you what goes on behind the scenes of stuff you normally always wonder as a kid. Like, where do postcards come from? How does a crane work you normally see in the building site? How does a garage work when you're fixing a car? And how does a hospital work either? Another thing I remember about the show is the flute scene where Midge tries to play the flute and he always knows one tune, which was Three Blind Mice. And another tune was, or basically another thing that was rememberable about the show, was the elevator scene, which sometimes it was normal, but sometimes it was different, where the characters pressed the button, the elevator came up, they walked in and watched the buttons going down. And then they went out. I miss the days when animation used to be not just for advertising purposes. But there are some people out there, like Steven Universe, The Amazing World of Gumball, and all that stuff. And I think I should end because I think the battery's about to die. But if you don't want to know what's happening next time, I am going to tell you the truth. We are going to review a new series, or a series that probably you've never heard of, Zoo Shelf, or in this case, The Animal Shelf, a show about talking animals, like Toy Story, except there weren't many other talking characters except them. Well, I hope you enjoyed this wonderful episode, and I think it's time for me to go. Bye!